Here we go then for the first match from the men's side of the draw here in Columbo. It's Hong Kong versus Japan. What you might normally expect to be the final of one of these events turns out to be seed 1 against seed 7. Japan obviously sending a development side to contest in this series. They've failed miserably, finishing 7th in Seoul 3 weeks ago, having to just beat Singapore in the 7th and 8th playoff. Hong Kong, meantime, have comfortably won the second leg against Sri Lanka 36-0, and also against Sri Lanka in League 1, 22 points to 17. There's our side there for Hong Kong. Coming into the side, Jason Jayam from the under-20 squad, back from varsity in the UK. And both the McQueens are out for Hong Kong, but that may not mean too much. These two sides, here is the Japanese side, largely unknown. University students haven't really got their mojo working in the series. None of these players were in Rio. Here's our referee, Kavini Talemai-Valagi from Fiji, who's just been inducted to the World Series. Congratulations to him. These two sides met in Seoul 3 weeks ago. Hong Kong absolutely pumped Japan 57-0. And that was a record score. And away with an early error for Japan, not going the 10 metres. So Hong Kong with the first effort here. Mark Wright also out of this Hong Kong side. Jack Capon coming in. And here goes Kadu Lee. Rowan Vati, 5 tries in Hong Kong. Here goes Lee Jones, leading try scorer for this Hong Kong squad in the series. Got Chris Mays outside him. Lee Jones doesn't need him. And the big man goes in from 50 metres. He's having a rich vein of form, is Lee Jones. Scoring tries. He's a midfielder. 11th try in this series. Phenomenal. He's a midfielder in 15s and leading try scorer in the series. Ben Rimini with the conversion as the leading point scorer in the series. And the left boot not working yet with the first effort of the day, and good strong start to Gareth Baber's men. Here he goes, puts the big fend into Kitsuki, boom! And he's got the gas to finish it off, untouched, and he'll be happy with that. So will his mum and dad. 5-0. Hong Kong sitting on 24 points for the series. Sri Lanka on 20. Ryan Meacham gets up after that one and bats it back. Everyone gets behind the ball. Rimini looks to create a diversion for a couple of seconds while his players get back. Vardy now to Meacham. Having a breakthrough season as Ryan Meacham. First appeared in the Hong Kong Sevens this year, and here goes Vardy. They'll look to him whenever things get tough. Here goes Mays. Kaduli, Meacham for his 3rd time in this movement, slows it down. Back to Mays, who puts the shoulder in. And he goes covered out. He puts in the big fend into the chest of Minato Gotu. Keeps his feet. He's held up by 3 Japanese. Still gets it to ground. Rimini, eyes up. Goes through the gap. And Minato Gotu's not going to catch him. And that's good eyes up rugby from Benjamin Rimini to score try number 2 for Hong Kong. Seventh try of the series and thousands of conversions. .94 points for Ben Rimini. Adds another 2. One of the many very experienced players in this program for Hong Kong, and he won't get many easier tries than that. But coming from some good build-up from Coverdale, Meacham and Co, just toiling away on that one, content to take it several phases. Rimini gets it up, and they've just left it to Meacham, who said thanks very much. Kaduli's on the site to take that one forward. Japanese just not communicating there. The rush defence of Japan. Out of the corner of his eye, Vardy sees it. And Lee Jones has just such a hunger for this try line in this series, and he's playing with huge amounts of confidence as Lee Jones. Try number 3, and this is heading in the same direction as the 57-0 trouncing that Japan received from Hong Kong. Here we go again. He looks up. There's a couple of Japanese who make some rather feeble attempts there. They go high and not really interested. Japan have to be careful here. They are fighting to stay in this top-tier Asian series. They were beaten 3 weeks ago, both by Malaysia and Chinese Taipei in the same tournament. Lost all 3 pool games on the first day. 17 points to 0 after about 4 minutes of this first half. And Rimini puts that up again, and again Meacham gets it. Naka doesn't even leave the ground there, and luckily for Japan, that one's been knocked forward in midfield, but they're just not getting these restarts right, Japan. There's no communication by the looks of it. There's no organisation, and these are the basics of Sevens rugby. Nailing your restarts and your exits. What can they do here now? They're a team lacking confidence, and they need to get into this game. Here's Naka now. Fires it out wide to Han. And that's gone to ground. Luckily, Kosuke Naka's there to pick it up, and Kaduli, one of the smaller men on the field, bullies him. The rush defence of Hong Kong, Lee Jones comes up, gets into the eye line of Han, who now tries to put Suruta away. It's a good inline inside ball there. Those can be hard to defend. Now they swing it back the other way. Hong Kong defensive system is staying steady. Lee with a good tackle on Yamada. Brings them down about 12 metres inside their own half. And they're going side to side. Japan, no one's really taken the line on until now. And Han sees a gap, goes between Mays and Rimini. Takes on Kadu Lee. Tries to get the fin going. Lee does well to bring him down. Gets onto his feet. Contests the ball. And a very lazy runner. Coverdale there just traipsing back. Here come Japan. That's better from Japan. Good footwork. Great footwork from Masahiro Nakano. And he's in for a good try after sending the ball to and fro across the field without really making any ground. They finished that one off with a good line break from Han. And then Nakano finishes off a good try to Japan. They're in this game finally. Conversion's over, and there's Huda has gone, so it is half time as we see the finish from Masahiro Nakano. Give them some sort of confidence as they go into the second half. Japan trailing 17 points to 7. Clearly is the First of Lee Jones's tries. He's having a field day. His good friend from Cambridge in New Zealand gets the second try before Jones puts in another one of those big right-handed fence. Get out of my road. And finally, Japan getting one of their own. Clearly, Japan one eye on 2020 Olympics, building the next cycle of players. They really don't have a lot of depth out of their World Series players who are being rested, not given a show in this series. Jamie Henry did come back in leg 2 and had no impact really. He injured himself in the process, had a week off from top level rugby, went to Seoul, hurt himself. There's Gareth Baber talking to the troops with his assistants Wong and Groves. So Japan really coming in at about 5th or 6th string in this tournament. They're already on the World Series. They've got nothing really to prove, but it would be somewhat eyebrow raising if they were to finish in 8th spot on the series and be ejected from the Asian Sevens series and yet still have a team in the World Series. The winner of this tournament or this series will represent at the World Sevens Series in Singapore in April, and the top 2 finishing sides from the series will go into the World Sevens Series qualifiers at the Hong Kong Sevens with a chance to get onto the World Series. So at the moment it's Hong Kong and Sri Lanka leading the way, and anything could happen over these 2 days. This home crowd will be hoping Sri Lanka can make it to the final. Here go Japan now. Quick tap and go from Kawashima. Gets up over the halfway. Tomasi Lawa is on for Hong Kong after a long injury. John Moon Han with some good footwork off the left foot. Kasahara with the show and go. And has Meacham got any legs to catch him here? He's going to pull him down, but he gets the inside ball to Kosuke Naka, and try number 2. Japan are suddenly back in this game. A little show and go, and the Hong Kong defensive line easily punctured there by Japan. That'll be concerning for Gareth Baber. Off the post from straight out in front. How crucial will that be as Japan comes surging back into this game with a late try in the first half, and then this. Meacham did well to get back, but on the inside I think it was Coverdale who couldn't quite get back, along with Varty. Couldn't quite make the ground to finish that off. So 17-12, game on. Crucial game really. The other team in this Pool A is Korea, who can beat Hong Kong. They beat them in Seoul in pool play 3 weeks ago. So Hong Kong won't want to be going down against this Japanese side. Here goes Rimini up to the halfway now. Can he get the footwork going? Easily steps inside number 8, Nakano. Meacham is on hand. And Benjamin Rimini has blown it open once again. He's having a great series. Meacham doesn't... He might look tired there, but I assure you that's how he always looks, no matter what time of day you see the man. But he's done well to run a long way to take that last pass, and it looks like he's been substituted. Him and Coverdale are off. Yukam Shing is on. Ben Rimini converts and gives them a tiny wee buffer now. Too easy there on Naka. Smoked him and throws out the Hail Mary. Knows that his Valley teammate's going to be there. And he was. And he gets an easy dot, does Ryan Meacham. Good score, Hong Kong 24-12. Rimini straight down the middle this time with the sand wedge, and Yu Kam Shing gets up but can't quite bat that one back. Yu Kam Shing now trying to defend that far line. Kawashima thought about taking him on. Good line speed from Hong Kong. Kadu Lee there. And Lawa gets the intercept. And that's gone through the hands of Coverdale. He would have been in. He's trying to put Rimini away for one, but he doesn't want to use him. And he spills it. So that was a chance for Hong Kong to nail this game. Yukam Shing goes flying in for the tackle. Rentaro Kawashima now tries to take on Mays. Won't have him. Tamasi Lawa over the top, and Lawa gets up and takes the ball, but two and a half minutes left for Japan. They've got to score soon. They're only 2 scores out from Hong Kong. Driving it low and hard was Naka. Probably not what he intended to do, but he's made about 12 metres, so they're inside the Hong Kong half. Hong Kong have made a few subs already. Still have Capon and Jayam on the bench, making their first appearances in the series. Hope the clock has stopped as there's some confusion over which ball they're going to play with. You can see the breeze on the flag there to the front. No mistakes. Hong Kong doing well there to win a penalty. That was much needed. They can probably put this game away here. Japan need to score twice. This is Coverdale now. There's a set move on as Mays comes through the middle. Takes it beautifully on the run. Chris Mays and Ben Rimini in concert there. Good set move from Hong Kong on the halfway line. And that is a good read of the situation. No sweeper back for Japan. And that's good experience from Hong Kong to put this game out of doubt now. Shrewd tactics from Hong Kong as a huge cup of coffee makes its way onto my commentary table as Rimini sends it between the posts. Coverdale's coming off as the young man Jason Jayam gets his senior. Sorry, it's Jack Capon coming on. Jason Jayam is on in 11. This young man getting his debut for the seniors. He's played under 20s in Hong Kong for Sevens. And a great moment for him as he runs out with his senior teammates. With time up on the clock now, will he get a touch? Rimini will try and give him a touch. Here he comes, the young man. Gives it to the other substitute, Capon. Rimini takes it on the inside, but can't quite pull it in. Japan now, can they go 80 for a consolation try? How eager are Hong Kong to test out their defensive systems? That's it with Sevens. You never give up as Capon makes the tackle. Away by Naka. He tries to use a little time to get some players behind him. That's Hiroki Suboi. Japan trying to work the short side now. Hong Kong working hard on defence, determined not to let them in for another. And eventually conceding the penalty. Here goes Jason Jayam, but he's off the mark. He's very eager, this young man. He's like a coiled spring. There's time for the line out if he's to kick it out. It's a tap and go out to Mays. Big Chris Mays puts on a bit of footwork there. Good work, but Capon's knocked it on the 22. So game over. Hong Kong 31, Japan 12. Looked like it was going to be one-way traffic for a while there with 3 quick tries to Hong Kong. Japan coming back with 2 of their own. Gets themselves some respectability. This is a Japanese side that needs to build some confidence. We know they're a development side and they're playing for their own careers, but a good start for Hong Kong. 31-12.